The Dark Ages were a time of relentless warfare and raids, where survival was a daily battle. From Viking invasions to feuding lords, the people of this era lived in a constant state of fear and chaos. In today's video, we're diving into the brutal world of war and raids in the Dark Ages, uncovering the terror, tactics, and resilience of those who endured these violent times. The chaos began with the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE. Without the stability of Roman rule, Europe descended into a fragmented patchwork of kingdoms and territories, each vying for power. Tribes like the Visigoths, Vandals, and Huns swept across the continent, plundering and destroying what remained of Roman infrastructure. This marked the beginning of centuries of conflict, as kingdoms rose and fell in the struggle for dominance. The political system of feudalism emerged as a response to the constant threat of war. Lords controlled small territories, protected by their own private armies of knights. But feudalism didn't bring peace. It made localized wars a daily reality. Disputes over land, power, and resources led to frequent battles between neighboring lords. Villages caught in the crossfire often faced looting, destruction, and famine. For the common people, it was a time of endless suffering and instability. No discussion of Dark Age warfare is complete without mentioning the Vikings. From the late 8th century to the 11th century, these Scandinavian raiders terrorized coastal Europe. Vikings were known for their lightning-fast raids. They would arrive unannounced, pillage monasteries, and burn villages to the ground. Monks often recorded these raids in horror, describing how everything from gold to people was taken. One of the most infamous Viking attacks was a raid on Lindisfarne in 793 CE, which marked the beginning of the Viking Age. The peaceful monastery was looted, its monks slaughtered, and its treasures stolen. As warfare became more common, so did the professionalization of soldiers. Mercenaries were hired to fight in local disputes, often switching sides for the right price. Knights, bound by the code of chivalry, became the elite warriors of the time. But make no mistake, chivalry wasn't as romantic as the legends suggest. Knights were ruthless on the battlefield, and sieges often involved mass killings and destruction. Sieges were a hallmark of Dark Age warfare. Castles provided protection, but they also became prisons during long sieges. Invading armies would cut off supplies, starving the defenders into submission. One of the most infamous sieges of the Dark Ages was the Siege of Constantinople in 717 CE, where the Byzantine Empire held off Arab forces for nearly a year. The defenders used Greek fire, a weapon so terrifying it burned on water, to protect their city. The constant warfare left deep scars on the population. Villages were destroyed, crops burned, and entire regions depopulated. Refugees wandered the land, and famine often followed in the wake of battles. Perhaps the most tragic part of Dark Age warfare was its impact on ordinary people. They bore the brunt of the destruction, often left with nothing but the will to survive. Religion played a significant role in Dark Age conflicts. Wars weren't just about power. They were often justified by faith. Crusades, both local and abroad, brought even more bloodshed. In 1096, the First Crusade began, leading to a series of wars between Christians and Muslims. These battles, though framed as holy missions, were just as brutal as any other conflict of the time. By the 11th century, Europe began to emerge from the chaos of the Dark Ages. Feudalism evolved. Kingdoms grew stronger, and technological advances like the crossbow and improved fortifications changed the face of warfare. While the wars of the Dark Ages were devastating, they also shaped the political and cultural landscape of Europe, paving the way for the Middle Ages and beyond. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the constant warfare and raids of the Dark Ages. Which part of this era shocked or fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into history. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past.